This is the Camel Connection podcast.
Welcome to our weekly Camel Q&A.
This is where you ask a camel question and we answer it.
I'm Tara.
And I'm Russell. And together, with other camel experts, we answer your camel questions. Hi, and welcome back to Camel Q&A.
Yes, yay.
Hi, I'm Russell.
And it's Tara here as well.
Yeah.
And we have a killer of a question for you today. And Diane is asking us, well, she's telling us first, I can walk my camel a little bit, but he's so aggressive. What can I do to help settle him down? I know it takes time. Do you know anyone in Colorado or nearby that I can get some help with him?
Diane,
Great question.
Really good question.
Because there's so many levels of this aggressive, and I say that in quotes, aggressive behaviour.
Did you just stick your hands up in the air when you were on radio?
I did. I'm quoting aggressive.
Oh, right.
I mean, I'm looking at you. So, yeah,
Okay.
aggressive.
Doing the air quotations.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps with the dramatics, okay?
Okay.
So, great. Shall we just address the aggressive thing first? Because, I mean, it's obviously hard to know what Diane's situation is and what she means by aggressive because everyone has different points of views on what aggressive is.
Oh, for sure. Look, I mean, aggression in camel, for me, is a bull camel coming over the sand dune, charging to kill or to steal the herd of camels that I'm walking with. And the bull camel's in rut. And of course they've got no friends and no fear. Now I have seen also with camels in training, usually potty camels, hand raised camels, not all the time though, who will lash out a kick or a bite or come in for a bite, and there's a very good reason for this. It's because they want you out of their space. Right.
So it really depends on the history of your camel, Diane, and anyone else's camels out there on what level of aggressive are we talking about? Has this camel been hand raised or bottle raised? Because we have, in our 7 years of experience of handling camels, we definitely realise that bottle raised or hand raised camels have less respect for boundaries, and they will test the boundaries a lot more than just say an undomesticated, untamed camel. So
can I just? It's more than 7 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a business.
Oh, as a business, yes.
I apologise. Russell's resume looks much better than what I'm saying.
So, look, I mean, you got to think, okay, well, what is it? Why is this camel like this? And has it not been taught the boundaries at all in its life? Has it had a bad experience of humans and it is fearful, therefore protecting itself by its, what I call it, the circle of personal space, and ensuring that, that personal space is not invaded or approached upon. The fear level that camels have is very high. Yes. They operate on a very fine line, and it's either they're totally calm or the fear is there, and it will come out in protecting themselves. So,
I think it's fair to say, on a very general perspective, because obviously we're sitting here and we don't know this particular camel's history, nor any of you guys' histories of the camels that you have, is that our experience says the hand-raised, bottle-raised ones are definitely more likely to do things like biting. That seems the biggest thing. And that makes sense to a camel.
Especially if they've been hand-fed.
Yes.
From an early age. And they expect it, they want it, so they're going to get it.
Yes.
So that's how the animals think.
And they haven't had any role models of older camels.
Well, they don't know their please, excuse me's and thank yous.
No, they do not.
Right.
But the other side of it is if this camel is not on that spectrum of, being hand/bottle raised or that generalisation there, there, then it's likely that they're acting out of fear. If it's so-called aggressive behaviours coming across, it's likely fear / misunderstandings. The same kind of thing, because if a camel does not understand you, they'll often fear you and they will start to portray their defensive behaviours.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, thinking about all the training that we've done, training many camels over the years now, and for those that have been domestically raised, or even from the feral camels that we've brought from the outback into domestic situations, we start regardless right from the very beginning. It doesn't matter what that camel's been doing in its past. It might be a young camel, it could be an old camel. We start from the beginning. If a camel is demonstrating what's been described here as aggressive behaviours, my recommendation here, and this is for not only yourself, but also for anyone who's listening, is to start from the beginning.
Start at square one, and I think that sets perfect presets for moving forward with that camel, because okay, just say you've just bought a camel, maybe it's 3 or 4 years old, it comes home and you just start handling it willy-nilly, like not really knowing, how it had been previously handled and, the history of it. So if you start at the start, which we take all, like Russ said, all our camels and all our clients' camels go through a process of the Camel Connection trust-based camel training. A camel enters a new environment. They're immediately on the defensive because it's new to them. They're not sure about the boundaries, or they're just like a child going into a new unfamiliar environment. So setting those presets of what you expect of that camel, and how to build and building a trust with that camel really is fitting towards setting up a really great future with you and your new animal.
Absolutely. And, there's one thing that, Diane, I'm specifically talking about yourself and your camel there, but I mean, it could be for a lot of people that are listening. What it is that you want your camel to understand from you is what you're doing, okay, and
what they expect of you,
and what they expect of you, and vice versa, okay. And without the groundwork, it's like building a building. Without those foundations, and even beforehand, the planning, okay, the knowledge, the skills that are required, that foundation is the key to having your camel turn. By that, what I mean is from defending itself or having this aggressive type of impression or aggressive behaviour, but to actually turn, and you've got to think to yourself, okay, why is this camel doing this? Okay, there has to be a reason, all right? But it's not the ideal behaviour that you're after, naturally. And we need to turn that around. All right, it has to be turned around. And think about a child being rehabilitated who may have, had some bad experiences in its life. It's got teenage years, etc., and actually a rehabilitation program. That doesn't happen immediately with tricks. All right. It does not happen with tricks. It is a slow process, but it is a process, and that's the key word here. Step-by-step process. Now, why I'm saying all this is because, yes, we've had to deal with camels like that as well, who we've bought and they've shown aggressive type behaviours, and our job as the cameleer was to turn that camel over so that there was no reason given in the long term for the camel to ever do that again. All right? And with the step-by-step program, you can go forward step by step at the pace that the camel can handle, and if you need to, you can come back the levels, okay? Come backwards as well if you have to. All right? And that is the key behind having a proven successful program for training the camels.
Absolutely. And as a step forward, okay, so like that's a lot of information to digest and you can re-listen to this again. But if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, Diane and everybody else listening who is struggling with this aggressive behavior or what's perceived as aggressive behavior, you need to get in touch with us because this is what we specialize in. We speak camel. It's like Dory speaks whale. We don't quite do the camel sounds, but we speak camel. We know we've got a gift where we know and can understand intuitively and through lots of experience on how they think. So even a session over the phone or something, an online platform, we can actually instruct you, get more information of exactly what this camel's behavior is, and we can tell you steps in how to improve that moving forward. That's the basis. But in order to, like you were talking about the foundations, you need that foundational training. Yeah, we can give you tips and tricks, but you, most importantly, because we've got the foundational training, but then we have the tips and tricks for those more aggressive behaviors or the biting and whatever that camel's doing. So
this is the whole thing: is that are we actually training the training the camel, or training the person? And is that who is actually being trained? And in my case, I'm only going to talk about myself here. Is I was the one that had to get educated. I was the one that had to learn. I was the one that wanted the change of the behaviour. The camel couldn't have cared less. I mean, all my camels. So they get quite happy to go off.
Well, they don't have push start buttons, do they?
They don't have push start buttons, no. But I was the one that needed the knowledge and the skills, and that's why I stepped out, found the mentor, and went through his training courses, and then I found other people, and I've merged all sorts of stuff in together so that it was easy for people to go ahead and follow a step-by-step program. Of which case they can go forwards or backwards. It depends what's required at any time with that particular camel that they're working with. I was the one that needed the training, and that's why we are people trainers more so than camel trainers, because the byproduct of what we do is the person. The main purpose is the person learns how to be the cameleer, and the second thing is that the camel gets trained.
And here's the thing, there's no such thing as a quick fix, and anyone that promises that is just lying, because it might seem like a quick fix to begin with, but then it's going to go full circle, and then it's going to, because camels need that consistency and how they need to behave. They need that consistent reminder, this is how you behave, So our suggestions to you is, Diane and everybody else out there who hasn't done our online camel training course, you have to get the foundations there, okay? And then from there, we can consult with you about your camel's individual behavior. This foundational training that we have, the Camel Connection, trust-based camel training, it works with every single camel. But we realize that every camel can have its own little unique traits. Like maybe it likes to bite a little bit more. It has its other little quirky thing. Yeah. So that's the stuff that we can help with moving forward. And so reach out to us if this is something you need for you and your camel journey moving forward.
I'm going to say one thing just here is this is gold. I mean, get your piece of paper and your pen. Make sure it's a big fat texter, and write this up and put it on your fridge, your refrigerator at home. Never vindicate their fear. All right, I want that written on your fridge. Whoever you are listening at the moment, all right, that is a golden piece of advice. Okay, never vindicate the camel's fear.
And for instance, if a camel bites, if you slap it, you're vindicating their fear.
That's right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, getting into, someone who's been through a violent sort of relationship, for example, okay, or a violent upbringing or whatever it might be. You don't approach their rehabilitation, for want of a better word, with violence.
No.
It's with love and concern and
compassion,
and a structure that they can go through, but all the time with support and all those sorts of things. Okay, so the camel is the same.
Absolutely.
It's not much different at all, and that's what I've found in having trained like hundreds and hundreds of camels now, but also what I've found in working for mental health. I've found it with working with kids from the education background that I've come from. And just raising my own kids. I mean, it's a hard call, absolutely. If
education is key.
Never vindicate their fear, but guiding them so that we're removing that behaviour, whatever it is, in a gentle way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we loved answering that question, and we hope that you gained a lot of value from that, Diane, and everybody else who's listening. You just got to get educated. That's the main key here.
Please get in contact with us because, we're here to help.
Absolutely. And we love to help.
Absolutely.
Everything camels. Yeah. Thanks, guys, and we'll catch you on the next Camel Q&A.
Okay. Catch you later, guys. Bye. If you found this Camel Q&A helpful, please let us know. Leave a review wherever you're listening from.
Do you have a camel question for us? Head over to camelconnection.com to ask your camel question now.